So, Michael, we're here to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is communicating cybersecurity effectively to the board. Have been some recent changes that really affect how people should be communicating cybersecurity to the board. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, definitely. There's two of them. There's the SEC with all public companies, and then there's financial specific, the New York State Department of Financial Services. The SEC regulation is going to require companies to disclose material cybersecurity incidents on their Form 8K. It's also going to require companies to disclose their policies and procedures to manage cybersecurity risk, including executive management's role in implementing. And then finally, the board of directors mechanism for oversight of the risk. Then if any members have cybersecurity expertise, they need to disclose that as well. The New York State Department of Financial Services is slightly different. And the main nuance is the executive management team must annually attest on the firm's cybersecurity compliance. And they also must be present at all BCP, so the business continuity plan and testing, and review incident response plan testing. And then for that rule, the board of directors must approve security policies and procedures, sign off on it, and then they must review all material issues that arise from any penetration testing or vulnerability assessments.
So, what you're saying is essentially the board is now on the hot seat like never before when it comes to cybersecurity.
Yes, they're definitely accountable. They always are ultimately responsible for everything, but now they're officially signing off that they saw it, they reviewed it. So it's almost like the Sarbanes-Oxley Act for cybersecurity.
I love that. This is the Sarbanes-Oxley Act for cybersecurity. That is a big deal, and people will understand
Yes,
that.
yeah.
So, since we as cybersecurity professionals now need to be communicating to the board, what are some examples of things that we do poorly and maybe ways to do them better?
I think poorly, the board speaks in terms of risk. They look at revenue growth, shareholder value, operational efficiencies, and cost reduction. We speak in acronyms. That's just a definition of our field. And I think we get too technical when we talk to the board. And it's just the nature of our business, of our industry. We kind of gravitate towards that way. But we need to pull ourselves up and talk at the risk level. What is dollars? What would mitigate X amount of risk?
Other than talking in terms of risk and finance, what are some other recommendations that you have for communicating effectively to the board?
Definitely meet with the board members before the meeting. You want to go in there, gauging them, how they react to what you're going to talk to them about. Kind of pre-meet with each member, and don't shock and awe. Don't walk in there and just say the average cost of a ransomware attack is X millions. Next year it's going up. We need to increase our budget by 40%. Don't shock and awe, educate them. I think that's the best way to do it. Also talk to the subcommittee chairs. The board members sub these committees like the audit committee, the technology committee. And if you can help them at that level with any issues, you can gain a lot more credibility and you can deepen your relationships.
So, in sum, to communicate effectively to the board, keep in mind that regulations have put them on the hot seat. Try to talk in terms of risk and finance and financial reward rather than tech speak, and get to know the board, meet them where they are, understand the individual members of the board. Is that about right?
Correct, definitely. And if you educate them, they don't want to say they don't know anything in the board meeting. But a one-on-one in their office or in your office, you can really educate them. They'll be a lot more open to ask you questions. Like you said, they're accountable for this. They're going to want to know what they're accountable for, at least on a high level.
Great. Thank you so much, Michael. This was fun.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.